Test cricket's heart is beating hard. It's beating true. This is what commentator Mark Howard remarked seconds after Rishabh Pant had smashed a boundary in Gaba last year to retain the Border Gavaskar trophy. At the time, various voices had demanded that BCCI has to come up with a documentary similar to Amazon Prime's The Test that had covered Australia's resurgence after the Cape Town ball tampering saga. While the BCCI did not allow any media or film company to cover the team closely, acclaimed filmmaker Neeraj Pandey, having movies like A Wednesday, Special Shabbos, and MS Dhoni, The Untold Story under his belt, took the onus upon himself to come up with a documentary titled Bandon Mein Tha Dum. The documentary covers arguably the greatest series win in modern day cricket for the Indian side. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Piyush, and if you haven't subscribed to TFI English channel yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story, in this video I will talk about the upcoming series Bandon Mein Tha Dum, which is based upon India's greatest Test victory ever. Let's begin. The 4-part documentary will be released on June 16 on the OTT platform Voot Select. The trailer was released on all social media platforms with the synopsis: when everything was against them, they stood tall and showed the world their true grit, strength and determination. Witness the story of the greatest fight back, the story behind India's greatest triumph in Test history. And the documentary already looks like $1 million. It has the perspective of several key figures from both camps that contributed to making the series one for the ages. Ajinkya Rahane, Chitteshwar Pujara, Mohammad Siraj, Tim Pine and Pat Cummins amongst others can be seen narrating the events in the trailer of the documentary. Neeraj Pandey described the series as a fight between David and Goliath, where the former prevailed. Nothing excited me more than retelling the story, which went beyond high quality cricket, hard work, perseverance, determination, commitment, sportsmanship and decoding the X factor through the mind of the players, which repeated the David versus Goliath story. Pummeled by injuries, established players falling like flies, off-field controversies chastening the players to commit mistakes, debutants being subjected to racial abuses, and not to forget the abject humiliation of succumbing at the lowly total of 36 in Adelaide. Everything that could go wrong went awry in the aftermath of the first test for the visitors. Such was the state of affairs that the Indian team was left without its regular test captain, as Virat Kohli had returned to India to attend the birth of his daughter. The captaincy armband was passed on to Ajinkya Rahane, who had to resurrect the team's fortunes and ensure that the series did not end in yet another 4-0 battery. And boy did Rahane lead the team. After the surrender of Adelaide, the Indian team galvanized together, stood tall, took blows after blows on the chin, and when battered and bruised, rose once again akin to a phoenix to land the sucker punches at the verbose and at times motormouth Australians. If Melbourne was any aberration that some cricketing pundits thought at the time, Sydney was a triumph of steely resolve. However, the breach of Gaba, the fortress of Australia that hadn't been knocked down in 32 years, became a part of Indian cricketing history for generations as Rahane's young Mavericks scripted the unthinkable, defying cricketing logic, common sense, and then doing something which nobody could have conjured up in their wildest imagination. Unlike the host, India had only a collection of striplings pieced together after a little rambling at the 11th hour, and yet they managed to humble the so-called fearsome paced triumvirate of Australia, comprising the likes of Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood and Pat Cummins. Never underestimate the Indians, came the reply from the then Australian coach Justin Langer, who was awestruck after witnessing the brand of cricket that the Indian side had played in their backyard. Australia is one of the toughest places to tour for any cricketing side. Thus, it would not be hyperbole to say that after the 1983 World Cup and 2011 World Cup victory, this series tops the charts, or for some even emulate the first two. Such was the magnitude that people are still in stupor, raging in anger when someone takes them and tries to get them out of the sweet, sweet hangover of the once-in-a-lifetime victory for India. The hunger for any content regarding the series is still high, and the makers of Bandon Mein Tha Dum are already off to a good start, given the response that they have received in the last 24 hours. Hopefully, the series is as engaging and as interactive as the trailer, and it ushers an era of sports documentaries that are embedded in reality rather than needless, exaggerated drama.